Most people start with a product idea. I'll make a course, sell some templates, I'll offer a training, but they skip the one question that actually makes something sell. What problem does this solve, and who is desperate for that solution? If you've ever launched something that didn't land, this might be why. And by the end of this video, I'll show you how to turn that problem into an offer that feels like a yes before you even ask for the sale. The first step is to identify your ideal customer. Let's start where most people don't, with one specific person, not a niche, not a category, a real person. Might be BCBAs or parents or educators isn't specific enough. When you try to help everyone, you end up reaching no one. Let me introduce you to Brenda. She's fictional, but she represents a very real type of person I serve. Brenda is 30, married, has 2 young kids. She's a brand new BCBA who got into the field to make a difference. But lately, she's exhausted. She values flexibility, time with family, having fun at work. But right now, she's drowning in reports, staff turnover, and guilt. This is where I use the ACT matrix. And yes, if you're a visual thinker, go ahead and sketch it out. Seeing it can make the whole thing click easier. When you're filling out the ACT matrix, you start in the lower right quadrant, looking at what they value. Brenda wants independence, impact, family time, and fun. These are her motivators, the life she's trying to build. Then you move on to the lower left quadrant. What pulls her away? She's battling internal stories like, I'm failing at everything, fear, imposter syndrome, burnout. Then you move on to the upper left quadrant. What does she do to escape those feelings that she's experiencing? She stays up late to finish reports. Maybe she scrolls TikTok for some relief. And she overfunctions to cope with those emotions or fears. Then you move on to the upper right quadrant. What does she do to move toward those things that she values? She signs up for time management courses. She tries to set boundaries. She makes lists and she tries again. That's where your offer belongs, in the upper right quadrant, something that helps her move closer to what she values. And later, I'll show you how to use this map to create simple products that feel like they were made just for her. So picture your person, not a group, a single person. What's their name? What do they want more of? What do they wish would just go away? You can even use a former version of yourself. Who were you 5 years ago? What did you wish someone had just handed you? There's just one more piece. Can this person buy what you want to offer? If not, maybe the solution is finding the middleman. Maybe you want to help RBTs, but your buyer is the clinic owner. Later, we'll use this insight to shape how we talk about your offer in one clear sentence that makes people say, that's exactly what I need. So then the second step is to find the problem that they're going to be willing to pay to solve. Now that you've mapped your person, let's find that pain point, the one that's already sore, already pressing. It's already keeping them up at night. We're not guessing, we're looking for what they're already trying to solve. Think back to Brenda. She's not looking for 20 fun activities for BCBAs. She's desperate to stop opening her laptop at 9 p.m. just to catch up. So here's the real test. If you want to know that you struck gold, look for these signs. Is this problem urgent? Have they already tried to fix it? Does it mess with their daily life? And will they feel relief when it's solved? This isn't about creating something clever. It's about creating something that's actually useful. So let's compare 2 different options. You might create a time management course, or you might create a 5-step treatment plan template that saves her 3 hours a week. Which one do you think might get a yes? The one that gives her relief right now. And in just a bit, I'm going to show you how to turn that problem into a real offer without overbuilding or burning out. So the third step is to turn the problem into an offer. Here's where most people hit the brakes. You got the problem, and now your brain says, I should make a course. So pause for a second. Brenda doesn't need 10 modules. She needs tomorrow to feel easier. So what if you gave her a script to start the parent session, a structure she can follow in 3 steps, a reflection tool she can print and use, something that's simple, actionable, and right on time? That's what sells. Diana and I used to think we had to give everything, every explanation, every worksheet, but what people thanked us for were the things that actually saved them time. So keep watching, because soon we're going to talk about how to price this offer in a way that reflects its value, not your time. So ask yourself, what would make this feel 50% easier for the person? And you want to start there. That's your minimum viable offer. It might be a quick start guide, or it could be a planning document. It could be a copy and paste template. Maybe it's a short how-to video. Whatever it is, it should feel like a sigh of relief. And then step 4 is to price it without second guessing yourself. Here's where the mindset monster creeps in. Am I allowed to charge for this? Well, yes, because it's something that's helpful. If that guilt still lingers, pause this video and watch my other video, Money Mindset, How to Change Your Worth. It's clear, it'll clear the fog for you and allow you to embrace charging for your service. So now let's talk a little bit about strategy. First, pricing is about value, not length. No one cares if your PDF is 3 pages or 30. They care if it makes their life easier this week. Then second, start with a yes-friendly price. Maybe $9 to $49. That's often the sweet spot for first-time offers. It lets you get traction, test, and build. It gives you the opportunity to get some feedback from people who are really using your solution. And then third is to use human language. You don't need to be pitchy. You need to communicate your solution to that BCBA and express the value of what you have to offer. You could try something like this. If you're a BCBA who's tired of starting every session from scratch, I made something to help. It's $17 and it's ready to use. Clean, clear, there's no pressure. Soon I'm going to show you how to build that offer without starting from scratch again. But step 5 is to share it without shame. You don't need a huge funnel or an ad budget or a launch plan. You need one way to tell someone it exists. Maybe that's a Facebook post, a DM to a colleague, might be a simple email. It's not a lot of sales, it's just service. You're not pushing something, you're handing someone a lifeline. And when you see their response, everything shifts. So now we're on to step 6. Grow without burning out. What comes next? You start with what worked. What did people say they loved about your offer? And then you use that to create a part 2. You bundle it together, you add a training, you're not rebuilding, you're stacking value. You can even license it, turn it into a membership, or run a live workshop. But you don't start there. You start with the one thing that helped. And if you stick with me, we'll get into how to build a full product ecosystem that supports you long term. But let this be your lab. Learn what lights you up and what helps others. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're building something real. If you've followed this through, you now have what you need to find your person, identify their problem, offer something helpful, price it with purpose, share it with confidence, and most importantly, you're allowed to be paid for being helpful. This isn't about monetizing your life. It's about meeting real needs with real solutions. One person, one problem, one offer, and that's how it starts. and everything else grows from there.